Welcome to another line with your boy Pedro Justice. Got a few things to talk about tonight. I don't know if you've heard it or not, but Tank Davis versus Leo Santa Cruz did between, they say 200,000 and 225,000 buys. Now, that is a lot of pay-per-view buys for your first pay-per-view. And the promotion of the fight, I think they did it at the right time. The drama involved was Tank making weight. So Tank is trying to make weight. We want to make sure that he can get down to 130. Leo Santa Cruz, his dad, and his situation. Leo stepping up to the plate. I mean, he was the champion at 130, and Tank's only had a title fight at 135. So, I mean, he is a 130 pounder, even though he struggles with the weight. He makes weight, the build up, the all access, all of that. It was great. Both individuals, Tank and Leo, had a story. And when you have a story, it makes it where people want to pay attention to you. So when they had that going, all they had to do was come in the ring and go at it and give their all. And that's all they had to do. And what did they do? They did not disappoint. Leo came out and tried to make sure he could win the fight on points. He was hitting Gervonta, but Gervonta had an equalizer. When he stepped to the side and gave that uppercut, bow, it was it. That was all she wrote. Leo was knocked out of his mind. He got up. He's okay. So people still got to watch the fight. And now it is a pandemic. With the pandemic, people trying to hold on to their money. They had a little over 9,000 in the Alamo Dome in San Antonio. So they had a crowd there. And so it was pretty much a pay-per-view event. They had a lot of fights on there. They had a lot of names on the card. Regis Prograis amongst a few of the names. And they, for all intents and purposes, went in there and they tried to do their thing. And so with Tank Davis stepping up to the plate with Floyd Money Mayweather behind him, do you believe that Tank is now a pay-per-view star or will become a pay-per-view star? Because 200,000, 225,000 out the gate is big time. Showtime put a lot of money into this. Floyd Mayweather made sure that things were taken care of. And once you have that all access and two fighters with a backstory, all it does is make for a great opportunity. And to make 200,000, if that's what it is, and not a penny more, guess what? I'm sure they exceeded what they were set out. I mean, they're probably hoping for about 100,000 to probably like 150,000. So congratulations to Tank Davis and Leo Santa Cruz. Now, there's going to be naysayers, people, and you know how people do. You know how people do. They're always against somebody. They started complaining. Oh, Tank Davis came out with the flag. Oh, that's disrespectful. He's trying to be a pay-per-view star. He said, thank you to everyone who bought my pay-per-view and supported me last night. That win was for all of you. I couldn't do this without you. A pay-per-view star was born last night thanks to Al Heyman, Showtime, Mayweather Promotions, TGB Promotions, GTD Promotions for all of their hard work in making my fight a success. On to the next. 24-0, 23 knockouts, 4-time world freaking champion. That's what I'm talking about. So Tank came in here. Tank did what he had to do. And when you do what you got to do, no one can complain. Now, Tank, we want you to celebrate and enjoy, but I don't know what happened here. Because did you hear about Tank, possibly Tank, allegedly a Lamborghini hit and run claim. Tank said no comment. I mean, I'm hoping that Tank is not involved, but if he is, I hope everything's okay. I can't say what happened because he's not been arrested, nothing like that, but he's suspected. And here is ES News, Ellie Setback reporting. This is one of the videos that Ellie had because it was showing the vehicle, the Lamborghini. And when we had the fight in Atlanta, we were all out there, all the names, everybody was out there with his other vehicle. And so he has an affinity for foreign cars. He's trying to stunt, do what he has to do. Ain't nothing wrong with that. I mean, look at it. Look at the vehicle. I mean, you can't hate. Now, the police are saying that there was a vehicle. It says Gervonta was reportedly celebrating his birthday at a nearby nightclub before the hit and run crash. The club is located less than a mile from the crash scene. At this point, Davis has not been arrested or charged with a crime. The investigation is ongoing. Now, I hope Tank is not involved. I hope it was somebody else had borrowed the Lambo truck or whatever it was, and it wasn't him. I mean, at this point, you just won the fight. There's no need to get in any trouble right now because right now, Tank stock is rising. I mean, there's different pound for pound lists. I guess this one is from CBS Boxing. They have Canelo #1. They have anyway, Bud, Spence. Still got Lomo #5. Got Manny at 6. There's only one cheating Fury. I mean Tyson Fury. Teofimo Usyk in his fight. And at number 10, they have Gervonta Tank Davis. So that means Tank is starting to get on the mainstream radar. And when you're on the mainstream radar, that means that you will possibly start getting opportunities to come on different shows. People want to talk to you. They want to know what you're about. And this is when you start building your brand as Tank Davis, GTD. But getting in trouble is not what you want to do because there's only one AB. Let it only be one AB. You can't be AB. I hope that this blows over because, I mean, they have kind of buried the story throughout the day. If you were paying attention, that it's not like the first thing that comes up when you put his name in. So, I mean, they did a good job of that. The media team with Mayweather Promotions, or it's just that people haven't caught wind of this story yet. And that may be the case. I don't know, but we're hoping that Tank does not go down this path because it could be drinking and driving could be involved. There's a lot of things could be involved. A hit and run leaving the scene of an accident is a no-no. So I'm hoping that Gervonta wasn't there. That wasn't him. That he got home safely another way, and that this is just a mix-up. For my sake, just because right now Tank, like I said, is on the national spotlight now. He's on a radar of the national media. I mean, what is Max Kellerman was saying something about him. It's like they can't completely commit to Tank, but they want to. I think Max said something about Arturo Gatti. Like, come on, man. Arturo Gatti, give me a break. I mean, nothing wrong with Arturo Gatti. But I'm just saying they're not the same type of fighters, not the same type of excitement. I think it's a kind of slight to Tank is that he's just trying to say that you're not there yet. And he's not there yet, but he's on his way there. I think you let him make his own path. Don't try to take anything away from the young man. He's 25. Soon he'll be 26 years old. 26 years old. 200 to 225,000 pay-per-view buys. Floyd Money May, his first pay-per-view, I think he was 28 against Arturo Gatti. Speaking of Arturo Gatti, 340,000. When Floyd switched from Pretty Boy to Money Mayweather, that's when his stock just went to the roof, because in a story, people say there's a good guy, there's a villain. And then nowadays in movies and everything, everybody wants to be the villain, but some people can play it more natural where it's like, am I really the villain or you just don't like me? And that's how Floyd plays it. He just plays the role perfectly. And so people want to see him lose. They don't like him. They don't like anything about him. They thought that he drank, did drugs and all these things. And as you watch the All Access, you would know that, wait a minute, he's not actually drinking. He's not actually smoking. He's getting out in the 2 a.m. running the streets of Las Vegas. And so, I mean, no one compares to Floyd Mayweather. He is Mr. Pay-per-view. Look at these numbers. The hundreds and hundreds of thousands, the millions and millions of pay-per-view buys of Floyd Mayweather. I mean, look at this. 4.3, Manny 4.6. In order to get pay-per-views and be a pay-per-view star, you have to build yourself up. You have to build your profile to where you're crossing into different streams. You're crossing into the mainstream, and you have to sometimes get under people's skin. So therefore, they want to see you lose. But the difference between Floyd and other people who are trying to pretend to be Floyd is he had the discipline, the D word, discipline. Without discipline, shout out to Pound for Pound #1, 5:30 a.m. in the UK. Good morning. Top of the morning to you. Yes, the Pound for Pound #1. Appreciate the love. I hope we're doing something for you right now. And so to be like Floyd, you have to be disciplined. Like AB, we see the trouble AB and got into recently. It's not looking good for AB, but he can bounce back because he's built a social media presence. And so therefore, he can always bounce back because people want to see him get beat up. Now, Tank is not the most vocal athlete. He is a low-key guy. He's a cool guy. People like him. He has a youth behind him. And so Tank has the potential to be a star that doesn't talk a lot, but he shows it in the ring and with his lifestyle. But his lifestyle does not need to be tied to getting into crashes. So I'm hoping that this is not true. Again, this video is from ES News. Ellie Setback, great guy. I met him. Don't know him, but I met him before at fights. Cops are now asking the public for help. Anyone with additional information regarding the incident. So again, I hope Tank stays out of trouble. I hope Tank does not. I hope he wasn't there. I hope it was someone else. And that Tank can keep this momentum going because they're going to start mentioning his name. And so everybody's wondering, who does Tank fight next? Who does Gervonta Tank Davis fight next? After a sensational knockout like this against Leo Santa Cruz, you have to stay out of trouble right now. You don't want to be that type of bad guy. You want to be with the social media, with the talking to calling out other fighters that way, but not in trouble with the law. Don't go down AB's path. That's why with Money May, for the most part, he stayed out of trouble. I mean, he had some incidences here and there, but for the most part, he was disciplined. If Tank can be disciplined, we may have a future star in the making. Now on to this last topic here. Teofimo Lopez is feeling himself. He told Deontay, stop being a bia. He sends a fiery message to Deontay Wilder. Now, of course, as you know, Teofimo Lopez just came off a sensational victory against Loma. He destroyed him for the most part up until out of the last 4 rounds. He lost 3 of those rounds for sure. He lost, but that 12th round, my hat goes off to him because he stood up. So right now he's a champion. He feels like he's a unified champion, even though Devin Haney has the real WBC belt. But that's a stream for another day. I don't know why Teofimo Lopez has Deontay Wilder's name in his mouth, and he shouldn't. Why would you talk about Deontay Wilder right now? Is it because you're on top rank with Tyson Fury? Deontay Wilder, if you don't know, he came out with a lot of allegations against Tyson Fury, saying that he had something in his glove that put a dent in his head, and that possibly with the water and Mark Breland and these other situations that we'll get into later on. But I don't think that Teofimo should have said anything at all. So to quote him, Teofimo said, "I think Wilder has had too much time on his hands. He needs to focus on his own D self. Go back to the gym. Get ready for a fight. Stop talking about a dent in your head. You're a grown A man. Stop being a. Why are you even saying anything at all to Deontay Wilder? Is it because right now, after your fight with Lomachenko, it's kind of dying down right now, and other fights are coming up, and all of a sudden Deontay Wilder was so quiet. No one had heard from him. Everybody's asking. And then Deontay Wilder burst onto the scene. And all of a sudden now all the boxing world spotlight is on Deontay Wilder and his allegations. And so it's like, to me, Teofimo's hopping onto Deontay Wilder's wave and trying to steal some spotlight, because I don't know if they said they're cool with each other. I'm pretty sure in passing, WBC events, things like that, maybe they talk to each other, but there's no way you should have another man's name in your mouth saying something negative about him. We all know you do not call another man the B word. I mean, some people joke around as friends or whatever, but for the most part, you don't do that, because when you see that person, there may be trouble. There may be chair moving. There may be tables thrown. You may be thrown. You may be hit. You may be checked. So I don't think Teofimo Lopez should have said anything at all. I think he should just enjoy his victory. What do you mean Deontay Wilder has too much time on his hands? He's having allegations saying that something happened to him, that he felt something he hadn't felt, and he kept on going. And he was upset about Mark Breland putting in, I don't know about that part, but he has his allegations. He has his own proof that he will show later. Basically, Deontay Wilder just wanted to fight the third fight, and so he could prove it in the ring and then bring up all the other stuff. But because Tyson Fury is ducking out and trying to have a fight with somebody we don't know, guess what? Guess what? Now Deontay Wilder has to talk about it. And so basically, what I want to say is, Teofimo Lopez, stop talking about another man. Keep his name out of your mouth. Do not, I repeat, do not talk about Deontay Wilder. I don't know what's going on here with the chat, but anyways, this is recording. Teofimo Lopez, Deontay Wilder, do you think there's going to be trouble? Do you think there's going to be trouble coming up? Let's see. 1 second. 1 second here. Bow. Bow, bow. Had to check something out. I see here. Boom, 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 boom. But Teofimo, enjoy your victory. Just enjoy your victory, man. Do not worry about Deontay Wilder. Do not worry about anybody else. Try to pick your next opponent. Sometimes when you're winning and you're a champion, sometimes you're feeling yourself. You get, I mean, when you're on a show, Sirius FM, like on a podcast, you want to make headlines, and he has had headlines because we're talking about him now. Are we not talking about Teofimo Lopez? But I think that this is a negative. I think you're going to lose people who are behind you Ak and Barak. Don't allow them to get you in trouble. Don't let them get you in trouble. So, hey, thank you for joining me. Maybe something happened to the stream. We had some situations going on here. Hopefully it recorded. If not, I will see you later. Let me know what you think. Until next time, you know who it is. It's Pedro Justice.